Hello and welcome to Survive the Unexpected with your host Frank Pacino. And today I have a special guest. Michael Schaefer is going to help me talk about this week in Big Brother 23. And it was the very first jury member, and it ended up being Brittany. What's your initial thoughts on the season as a whole going on right now?
When the season started, I was really excited for. Well, first of all, hello. But going the season, I was really excited because I thought the cast looked awesome going in. And we're 6 weeks in now. The cast is still, I really like them. They're very friendly to each other, which is not good feeds. And it's starting to get a little bit predictable and boring.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping something happens to try to shake this up a little bit to make it a little more entertaining.
Yeah, I agree. It reminds me a lot of Big Brother 12 and the Brigade. That literally they took the strategy of the Brigade and made it bigger. Instead of a 4-person alliance, they had parachute. It's 6-person, and they're very secret about it. And it's even better than the Brigade as a secret alliance because people seen them hanging out, but they made sure they hung out with other people more. In the cookout, the reason why they're so successful is because they're never like all together ever, and it's impressive to watch. But it's not everyone's best interest to stick with the cookout, and that's my biggest frustration. Yeah, they constantly say it, and that's my biggest frustration with the season so far, especially this week. Claire and Derek X really tried to put in work to flip the vote to Tiffany and Hannah, and they both said, they're making great points. This is probably a good move for me, but I can't do it. And it's just like
that's the worst thing whenever I'm playing a game or I'm watching Survivor Brother, it's like, oh, like you just said, like it's a move you should make. Mm-hmm. It'll benefit your game. You're like, I don't want to.
Right.
I'm more loyal to them. Like you're setting yourself up to fail.
It's very frustrating as a viewer, and it's just like, I just want to see something happen. And it's not that I don't like members of the cookout. Like I love Tiffany, I love Xavier. Kylan is up and go for me. Ozzy I enjoy as a person. Hannah I really like. Derek F, take her or leave it. But I like the cookout members as a whole. I just want to see them face some adversity. The best part of watching some of the best players to ever play, Dr. Will, Dan.
Watch them get into jams and how they get out of it.
Yeah, and watch them do it in an entertaining way. And that's the best way. Like you can go to Survivor. Tony would always be in a jam and find some crazy way to figure out how to get out of it. And that's what I want to see out of players that I think could be going on iconic level, but they're just not letting themselves be because of the cookout.
Well, to be fair, it's not really the cookout's fault. Like I'm not blaming people like Hannah or Xavier, where it's like, oh, go. You shouldn't have to look for adversity. Like if it doesn't hit you, like good for you. That makes it even more impressive. Like if you could get through the game without being targeted, it's good. But like you said, I do want to see people actually have to be put into a corner, and I want to see how they get out of it because that really, like you said, shows how good you are.
Exactly. I'm as a player, I 100% think you should not face adversity if you can. But as a viewer, I would love to see it, and that's the difference.
Of course, it's entertainment.
Right. 100% it's entertainment. But the week started out with the BB Bucks, and what did you think of the twist of the BB Bucks? You think it was dumb, waste of time, good?
I don't get it.
Yeah, it's a little. To me. They didn't mention it at all throughout the episodes besides the first episode. And Brittany going home this week was all because of she won $100 in the BB Bucks. But it was never mentioned at all. Even though that was the only reason why she got sent home.
And this is what annoys me with Big Brother Twist, because they'll do shit and they'll drop stuff where it's like, oh, we're just going to put this in for absolutely no reason. It'll have no effect on the game, but it should have no effect on the game, but it affects the game anyway.
Yeah. The problem with Twist is a lot of time they benefit the majority alliance. Mm-hmm. So like them knowing this, they're like, oh, Derek F is good because he's got $100. So maybe he can get another $100 and help. They can game plan on what they want to do with these twists, and then just game it out of the game essentially.
And that's not just this season; that's every season.
That's every season, right? If
Whenever
you
something,
if you have smart players in the game and you tell them what the twist is and give them enough time to prepare for it, it's just they're gonna game it out.
look at the Battle of the Block.
Battle Block, yep. Derek mastered it pretty well.
The MVP
And
twist in season 15.
right, perfect example right there. They weaponized Alyssa, so it's just the Big Brother doesn't need twist every season.
No, they don't. They don't. And honestly, to me, like the best season since outside of All Stars, if you want to say that, the first All Stars. This last one was horrible.
Yeah,
Is Big Brother 10, and what was their twist? They didn't have any.
No.
Besides the 1 week of America's Player, there was no twist at all in
Right.
Big Brother 10.
And in Big Brother All Stars, they had 2 twists that just didn't get used really at all. The first one was the double HOH that mounted to nothing because it was 1 week, and then the coup d'etat, which wasn't used.
Didn't get used.
Yeah, Boogie didn't need to use it. So like, really, they tried to put twists in that season, and it just didn't. This didn't happen.
Which honestly is the benefit of the season.
Oh, for sure. I really hope that one of these players gets antsy and just like do something crazy, or somehow Derek X and Claire can come up with something, because I think that's our only hope at this point.
That's what I think too.
Happen.
Derek X is so good.
Yeah, so good. He was so close to winning HOH. I was so rooting for it. I'm not gonna lie. But we get to the nominations and everything like that. Kylan that nominates Claire, and Big D. Big D volunteered for the block so that way he could save Azza and Brittany. And originally Brittany was not going to be a target, and so he's like, "I'll go on the block. Don't put Brittany on the block. Don't put Azza on the block. I can handle it, and I protect my allies, and then we won't go after there. We'll get Claire out," which was the right move for Kylan. And then Tiffany have like just like talks to him, is like, "You know what? I can't do Claire anymore. I gotta save her."
So good.
Yeah, she really could be a Vanessa Russo. She really could be Danielle Reyes, but she's just not allowing herself to be that because of the cookout agenda. She could be the next woman icon of the game, and she's just not allowing it, and it's frustrating because going to the cookout at Final 6 is just not a great path for her, because the only person that would take her out of the 6 is Hannah. Xavier won't take her to 2. Kylan won't take her to 2. Big D or Azza is definitely not taking her to 2. So it's my fear that she is letting go of power in the game and just wants to have this goal to make history, which I 100% get. You want to make history, but me personally would want to be the one that wins the game to make that history, and not be somebody that helps somebody make that history, if that makes sense.
Oh, it totally makes sense. If you want to make history, you want to win. You don't want to be seen as I should have won, or I was robbed, I should have did this. No, you want that crown, you want that money.
Right.
And here's why I'm still giving Tiffany the benefit of the doubt. I still think she has time. I think she might have it figured out. I think she's going to realize, I need to win. This is the right time to do it, and do it. Now, if she doesn't do it, I could be totally wrong, and I'll come on here and admit I was wrong. Mm-hmm. But I still have faith she's going to do it.
I really hope so. I'm not ruling it out. It's just not likely. I don't know. Like, I'm hoping that Claire can sit her down and be like, "Look, girl, you can win this game. You or I can win this game. Just trust me." But like, it's just, that's our only hope, is for her to convince Tiffany that she needs to play for herself.
I want Claire to get some power. I feel like that would be the one. She'll just sit her down and be like, "All right, this is happening. Too bad."
Yeah, right. Exactly.
They kind of twist her arm into doing it.
Right. And then I think if someone could take out an initial cookout member, it might change things. It might, like if Xavier, for example, got sent home, like Tiffany and Hannah might be like, "You know what? Maybe we should stick with Claire and Derek X." But I just don't see it likely happening, especially with who won HOH. I don't see Sarah Beth. I feel like she's gonna go after like Alyssa.
I think it's gonna be another Kylan HOH.
Yeah, maybe backdoor to Derek X, which is not something we want to see.
Or just throw him up on the blocker initially with him and Claire.
He could, but I just don't think it's gonna be a direct shot like that. I think she's gonna. I think because of the roulette twist and the veto, there's too many opportunities for Derek X to save himself.
And they would just try to backdoor him, which is
Mm-hmm.
the better option. But obviously, yes, it's the right gameplay to try to backdoor him, but like it could not work. And like you put Claire on the block, leave him off. He still gets picked, wins veto, gets her off, and then they're both safe. You're fucked.
Exactly.
And obviously, with the roulette twist, he could be safe anyway.
Right. I really was hoping that if he just took the first path or the like what Sarah Beth took, he would have won. But he wanted to try
100%.
that small path, and that took him like 5-6 seconds. And if he just took the other path, he was winning the HOH. And then he might put up Kylan and Xavier because him and Claire discussed that, and that would have been awesome.
I love on Big Brother when the underdogs get power.
Yeah. It's entertaining to see. Like I said, adversity is not a bad thing to watch. As a player, you don't want to face it, but as a viewer, you want to see adversity. You don't want to see what someone steamroll because that's 16, 19,
21,
21,
22.
22. Steamrolls are not fun to watch, especially towards the end games. And Big Brother's a long game. And if you see one entity just steamroll, it's just like it becomes a drag.
Stop watching.
After a while. Yeah, I stopped watching last season. I'm not gonna lie.
So I stopped watching a couple seasons
because it was just like I think 22 was the first season I like since I started watching that I just didn't finish. I watched the ending, but I just didn't. I missed like 4 votes because I just didn't care anymore.
19, 21, and 22. I didn't finish any of them.
Yeah, I wish I couldn't say I
they were bad.
Finished 19.
They were very bad.
I finished 19. That was bad. Just to see Paul lose, which it was kind of fun.
That was satisfying watching Paul lose. But
yeah, but we get to the veto, was it the rule or the win to bet the veto. I don't. What'd you think of that competition to put the little like it's like a you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. It's interesting.
Yeah.
But again, what's the need?
Yeah.
Besides trying to throw a little bit of a wrench into the game, but at that point, I don't think it's really, well, maybe necessary is not the right word. I don't see it really making that big of a difference where it's going to impact the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we get Brittany, Azza, Big D, Kylan, Alyssa, and Claire all playing for the veto. And the ones who played to try to make bets on somebody was Tiffany, Big D, Claire, and Kylan, and Sarah Beth. And Tiffany, I don't know how she did it, but she knocked all her pucks off and got 0 points and was not able to bet on anybody. And it was just like, wow.
Hey, when you suck, you suck.
Yeah, and the thing is, I think it was the top 6, so all she had to do was get a point. I think she get a point, she wins a chip, and she could put a bet on somebody. So, Kylan bets on Alyssa, Claire bets on Kylan, Big D bets on Brittany, and Sarah Beth bet on Azza. Nobody picked the nominees. But it's OTEV. And do you like OTEV competition?
I love OTEV.
It's fun. It's were you excited that he was jacked?
I don't care what he looks like. I don't care what OTEV looks like. I don't care what OTEV sounds like. I just love the competition. And if I would ever go on Big Brother, that's the one like that I would love to be a part of. That and Zingbot.
God, I wanted him to say, "Get to the jam." Come on, he was doing the Arnold impersonation. He had to do some more.
My favorite was season 16 when they got Gilbert Gottfried to be the Penguin.
Yeah.
That's not getting topped.
Big D takes a couple hard tumbles. Like
I really shouldn't laugh because I would totally be the big dude who would go on there and fall on his ass going down that slide or not get up the goddamn ramp.
Yeah, I'd fake an injury. If I couldn't get out there, I'd fake.
Oh,
I'm
I'd
cramped.
actually get hurt.
I'm cramped. I'm cramped. Candy corn. Candy corn.
Get the cramp, get up top, and just roll down.
Yeah. We hit. So Big D loses first. And did you see him like hit that fake log? Like he hit
That
that
had to
thing
hurt.
hard.
That had to hurt.
Like it's like, bro, chill.
He's just talking whatever and just
Yeah, smacks. So it comes the next round. It's between Azza and Brittany, and Azza tries to throw it to Brittany because if Brittany wins, Derek F gets a veto as well. So Azza tried to throw it to Brittany, which I think Azza had the better chance to win the competition overall, just
but
because she
she
was
wanted Derek.
taller.
She wanted Big D to get that veto.
Yeah, and if she wins the veto, she doesn't have nobody or Sarah Beth bet on her. So I guess theoretically Brittany could have still gone home, but Azza would have had the second veto, so she could have saved her. So Azza should have just stayed in and tried to win. She would have ultimately had to save Brittany or Derek F. But she didn't. She threw it to Brittany. Brittany loses the next round right away. So it's Kylan, Alyssa, and Claire. Claire ended up losing, and it's between Kyla and Alyssa. They're out there talking. Alyssa's like, please just let me win. I want to win this one. And so Kylan makes a horrible, horrible attempt at throwing the competition. And he's just standing there looking at two of them. Just looking at two of them.
I'm sorry. If you're going to throw a comp, don't make it that fucking obvious.
Right. All you had to do is like look through the thing. Oh, this isn't one. This isn't one. This isn't one.
Like frantically go through all of them.
Right.
And just say like, I can't fucking find it. Not just be like, I don't know which one it is. Like, dude, if you're gonna do that, just stand at the fucking top of the ramp.
Right. It's like, bro, chill. Like, what do you? It was just like, what are you doing, bro? Like, it was awful. Even Claire's like, what are you doing, Kylan? You just don't want me to win the veto. I'm clearly your target. And so Alyssa ends up winning. So Kylan and Alyssa get a veto. And Kylan's plan is to use the veto on Claire to gain trust, even though he put her on the block. And even though if he would have won a competition, it would have gave her the veto. It's like, no, I don't want her to pull herself off. I want to pull her off. Makes no sense.
He's messy. Kylan is very messy.
This week was very messy by him. It was just all bad. So we're getting to the veto ceremony, and he goes up to Sarah Beth like 10 minutes before the veto ceremony. Hey, will you go let Brittany know? Give her a heads up. And Sarah Beth's like, sure, why not? I'm gonna try to win a jury vote. And she doesn't do a good job. She's like, hey, Brittany, can I sit next to you? She's like, yeah, sure. She's like, Kylan just told me to tell you that you're going up.
I hate people who spoil blindsides.
Yeah, me too.
Like, and James from Big Brother 18 was the worst with this. It's like the whole part of the entertainment is like you want to see their faces when it happens and not have to be tipped off beforehand. And it's like, oh, if you're tipping them off, then it's like it's not a fucking blindside then. And the show's gonna have to try and fake it if they don't show it.
Right, exactly. And that's the frustrating part. It's like
So frustrating.
I want to see a blindside, and they got ruined. They ruined Brent's. I was so excited for that one. Christians was ruined right beforehand. Like, just let it happen. Please, just let it happen.
Especially because they're not going to the jury. They're going fucking home.
Right. Brittany's the first one to go to jury.
Well, like I get it. Like if you want to win a jury vote or jury management, fine. But it's like it annoys me. But like the first two, what was the fucking point in telling them?
Right. There was no point. No point at all. So Brittany goes in. So we didn't get blindside, but we did get some great entertainment. Brittany is like, I go talk to Kylan, and she's like storming everywhere. Kylan trying to find him and go into his HOH room. And I was like, is Kylan hiding from her? So he finally tracks her down, and she's like, "What the hell? Like, we had a deal." And they flash back to like right before the HOH competition.
I love when they do that.
Like, hey, if you don't put me up this week, I will give you 2 weeks of safety. He's like, that's a deal. Deal. So he accepts this deal, and then he proceeds to essentially backdoor Brittany and go against the deal. And Brittany's like, tell me why am I going up? And he's just like, Well, I'm like I'm just trying to do what everybody else is trying to do and make it further. And I guess gotta do what I gotta do. Like you're in the
It's what the house
way
wants.
and all this stuff. And she's like, what are you talking about? She's like, so I'm bad for your game. I just made a deal with you. And she's like, he's just staring at her. Didn't know what to say. And it was just like, bro, like I don't understand what what he was doing. What are you doing? But so we get to it ends that episode. We get to the veto ceremony, the Thursday episode, and he does take Claire down, puts Brittany up. Okay, and Brittany's very upset, and she's talking to Big D and Azza, and she's been like 4 out of the 6 weeks I've been on the block, da da da, all this stuff, and it's just like America gave you $100 and you did nothing with it. Like she's like literally says, clearly America must know I need this money, but I'm not gonna use it.
That's why I have no sympathy for people like that. If you, and that's with people like who have idols, like, oh, I might go home, but I'm not gonna play it. And then you're like, oh, well, I didn't know. Clearly, you did fucking know because you thought about playing it and you thought you needed it.
Right.
And that's why I don't feel bad for Brittany, because if she thought, hey, America's giving this to me, clearly they know something I don't. Maybe I need it.
Right.
And so if she had just thought for a few minutes that it might be better for my game to use it, she would have used it. And instead, she's going home. She's going to the Jerry house with it. Where it's going to do her zip.
Zip. It's like, girl, if she puts a bet on, I don't know, like if she wins more, gets more points than Colin, and she puts a bet on Alyssa, like then she has a veto. Then she's safe. Like she should have played like she should have played it for one. And for two, I would have told no one about it. I'd be like, yo, I got like 20, I got $50.
Mm-hmm.
America hates me. It's probably all my crying. Yeah, I would have definitely not told anybody. And it doesn't help that the cookout was so hidden and insulated that everybody told everybody like their money to their allies, but they're not really their allies. And that's why it's getting Derek X into trouble and Brittany. That's what got Brittany. And they were not, the CBS didn't want to show the reason why Brittany got evicted was because of that money. Because they're like, oh, our twist is good. We got to show them that our twist is good. So they did not show that at all in any of the episodes. But in all reality, that was what got her in the most trouble.
That's why I hate editing.
Mm-hmm.
They try to tell their story when most of the people who watch the live feeds know the actual story.
Exactly.
And they catch all the casuals with, oh my god. It's just like, no, it's not. Like everyone on the feeds knows why.
Exactly. We get Brittany upset and pretty much told he's a liar. Oh, the diary room by Brittany on Wednesday's episode when she said he's an arrogant little bitch. I was like, whoa. I was like, fire, Brittany.
I love people who yell like that in the confessionals. It's when they get up like that. It's very like A, it's emotional. B, like they're very. What's the word I was thinking of?
Passionate.
There you go. Thank you.
Yeah, it was
like they don't sugarcoat things.
Exactly, and I liked it because it's like, and she told Kylan, she's like, you lost my jury vote. You're not getting my jury vote. And it's one of those things of jury management. Like, do you really need to backdoor Brittany?
No.
Like, you backdoor Derek X. You maybe even backdoor Claire. You don't backdoor Brittany. She's very emotional, very upset, and like you betrayed her trust. So she's not going to vote for you.
Also, the other thing I'll say about Brittany is like, yes, she was nominated so many times, but like, I kind of feel bad, but at the same time, like, it's a game. Like, clearly you're not doing something right if people are targeting you that much, or not targeting you, or they're like, I'm safe. I can just throw her up. Like, clearly something's not right in your game.
Exactly. Big Brother is one of those things that if you can, it's all up to you to stay off the block. You have to have some relationships with people to figure out how to get off the block to not go on the block at all. And if you have those relationships, you're not going on the block. There's a
That's why I
reason.
think. Sorry, go ahead. Finish.
No, there's a reason why Claire only went on the block at this point. I mean, yes, she had the safety, but like people generally like her.
Mm-hmm. But here's the other thing with Big Brother. Like to me, it's easier than Survivor because like Survivor, you're at go home every time. Like, and it's not up to you. Like Big Brother, you can keep yourself off the block. With multiple ways. Just be fucking social. Talk to people. Don't isolate yourself and be this big fucking douchebag in the house.
Right. Yeah. Nobody wants to deal with the asshole throughout the week. And you know what? The reason why people get picked on all the time is because once one person did it and you have done nothing to retaliate, they're like, "Well,
They're
I'll
gonna keep
just do
doing
it." Yeah. And Kylan already put her up, so he was the first one to put her up.
Professional pawn, as I call it.
Right, exactly. So we get to the vote, and we see Derek X and Claire try to flip it, but Tiffany and Hannah were not having it. The cookout is staying strong, and we get to the vote. It's a one. Oz is the only one. Yeah,
Oz voted for Big D. Everyone else voted for Brittany.
Oz was a sympathy vote, and her relationship with Brittany was nice to see. And Brittany grew on me as the season went on. I originally said she was a dud, and I changed my opinion on her throughout the season. At the very beginning, I was like, "Oh, this girl's just like."
Yeah, I wasn't a fan.
Not it.
I was trying to find a way to root for her because she was on my fantasy team, but
yeah, which Amanda's looking like top notch. She has 3 cookout members, so
yeah, I think Jordan's in trouble.
Yeah,
he's down 2, and I think Derek X is in some danger this week.
Yeah, I have Xavier, Claire, and who else?
I got Big D and Tiffany on my team left.
Xavier, Claire. I feel like Sarah Beth, and Sarah Beth just won HOH.
There you go.
So, I think I'll be okay. I think
I got 2 cookout members. I'm good.
Yeah, that's the thing. I only got 1 cookout member, so like,
who's the last member of Jordan's team? Because he's got Derek X. I don't know. I forget who the 4th person is.
He had Brent and Travis.
Yeah. Yikes. I love the sub.
Oh. Christine.
Oh, Alyssa.
Okay. And she might go home this week. Derek X or both his members might be in trouble this week.
Yeah, I think he's going to lose.
Yeah, he's definitely going to come in last place. We'll be seeing a TikTok from Jordan soon enough, probably. But we get to the HOH competition. Oh, forgot Brittany's interview. She was for sure going to win if she got to the final 2. That's something she was totally lost on. Yes, she would have had a decent story, but people really got rid of her because of other reasons, and I think a lot of people felt like they still could have beat her in the final 2.
Yeah, I feel people have very high opinions on their own game, and so it's like, oh, I did this so great, I deserve to win. Like, girl, it's the first member of the jury. The game's not even barely half over.
Mm-hmm.
It's not even half over. There's still 10 people left.
Right, Christine.
Like, there's no clear I'm going to win this game until probably final Big Brother, like final 7 maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Final 6. It's tough. I think Survivor, it's a little easier to tell earlier on because it's such a more fast-paced game.
Right. Yeah, I agree. It's definitely it's like Survivor, you can have more control, and you can see the front runners. But Big Brother, like if you don't win competitions at the end of the game, no matter how good
You're
socially, you're screwed. Because if the wrong person was the HOH or the veto, you can go home.
Yep.
So we get to the HOH competition, and what you think
Derek
of the
X, what are you doing?
Oh. Go ahead, talk for a second.
So yeah, the HOH competition, it was basically down between Derek X and Sarah Beth. And if you are looking for entertainment value, you wanted Derek X to win because himself and Claire are not in good shape right now. I feel like they would have taken the shot at the cookout and maybe have some little bit of entertainment right now before they would eventually get power back. Or maybe they'd split up. We have no idea. But we're obviously not going to find out because he, instead of taking the easy path that he should have, He tried to go for the shorter path, took him longer, and Sarah Beth ended up beating him. She has power, and she's probably going to end up going after either himself, Alyssa, or Claire. We just don't know which one yet.
Yeah, I was a little upset. I really wanted Derek X to win. I felt like he had a chance
A lot of
to.
people did.
Yeah, I felt like him or Claire would have definitely put some cookout members up, and we could have seen some interesting happen this week. But I don't think we're gonna get that now. So
I think he's going home. I'd be
Derek X,
shocked if it's Derek X. Yeah,
I feel like there's a chance he may not out because he had a couple outs, but I feel like he's in danger. Alyssa's in danger. I don't think she's gonna go after cookout members because Kylan's gonna be in her ear.
I think Cookout's good.
Yeah, and so it's just, and Alyssa must be sick too because she fell off at the very end. Oof, and she might have needed that too.
Yeah.
So she's probably like freaking out, and she's like, "Man, she probably if she goes home, she's gonna be thinking about that forever."
Like Jeff in the Clown Shoe on Big Brother 13.
Yeah, clown shoe. It's gonna be her own shoe. So we'll see. I don't like. I don't
I
know.
don't like
This week
our
is gonna be
entertainment
rough.
value chances this week.
Yeah, it's gonna be rough. We're gonna get another Kylan HOH pretty much, essentially.
Yeah, and that was a slog to get through last week.
Yeah, it was messy. It was messy, but it resulted in a boring eviction. Ultimately, I just want to see two cookout members go up and just see how they handle it, and see what they can do forward, or what if they have to choose? What if it's I don't
Who's
know.
going to sell someone out first?
Yeah, what if it's for example Xavier and Hannah? Who's gonna want to save who? Tiffany's gonna want to save Hannah. Big D probably want to save Xavier. Kyland, I don't know what he wants to do. Azza, I don't know what she wants to do. So it'd be interesting to see something like that, for example. But I highly doubt we'll see something like that happen.
And that's why I feel like it would be a little more. And remember in the Brigade in Big Brother 12, since we were making that comparison, like it was always felt like that Matt was always going to be the first one they were going to chop off when they face their person. It's like, oh, Matt's going to be the first one thrown overboard. You don't know who the first member of the Cookouts, the sacrificial lamb, is going to be.
I feel like it's going to be Kyland.
I wouldn't be surprised.
But we'll see. We'll see when it comes to the pasture. But we're looking, like I said, we're looking at a boring reign. Ultimately, we'll see how it goes. Kylan's reign this week. Who do you think he should have targeted?
I mean, I think Derek X would have been the good choice, but
honestly, I think Claire was the right decision.
And he changed his mind.
Because it would have weakened Tiffany, and Tiffany's totally not on Kylan's side, and it was a non-cookout member, so you can be like, oh, it's just a non-cookout member, it's not a big deal, and he could have brushed it off. It wouldn't have been a big deal, but he didn't. He changed his mind because Tiffany changed his mind, and I think he might regret that move eventually.
Oh, he will. It's just gonna be when.
Yeah, I feel like because Claire will definitely put up Kyland for sure. She wins.
Tiffany will sell him out.
Yeah, so I think he'll regret not getting rid of Claire when he could have. But like I really hope we see some people start play for themselves moving forward. I really want to see more self-interested going forward. Like Tiffany knows what's the right moves to do, but she's not doing them.
Be selfish about your game.
Yes, and it's very frustrating. I want to love Tiffany. I want to worship her game, but
she's got to win you over.
She's just not doing it. She's like letting people, like if she gets to me, the direction of the game is going right now is Xavier's game to lose.
I see it.
Because if he's at the end game, he just gotta win competition, which he's gonna beat. If he gets Kyland out at 6, he's definitely beating Azza, Big D, Tiffany and Hannah.
Yeah, he's just to set himself up where he knows he can win out.
For sure. But yeah, I think we're getting close to hope. We're figure out in the next week or two if it's gonna be a steamroll or we're gonna get something exciting to happen.
I
We
hope
have to
exciting.
have
I hate Steam.
we have to have something happen in the next 2 weeks, or else it's just gonna be dead into the water, and it's gonna be very frustrating because it's like the season had so much promise to begin with, and it definitely helped. We had a couple bad seasons before it, so like this season looks so great at first.
But then when you actually start talking about it and digging a little deeper, it's become a little. The beginning was good, but
Are
like you
you
said, once the steamroll gets going, it's kind of hard to get the season back on a regular track.
So, are you worried about the cookout having issues like moving forward and Big Brother seasons of like the Black Widow Brigade? Like anytime like a all female group
I
is
hope
talking to
not.
Survivor, like people freak out and they immediately vote off a woman.
I hope not, because that's so stupid.
You know what I'm saying though? Like I just
I
don't,
totally get what you're saying, and it would really annoy me if that happens.
and that happens a lot in Survivor, and
Oh, it
people
totally does.
like, oh, the women's are getting together, or we can't have that because of the Black Widow Brigade. Like that happened what 15
Once.
like what 30 seasons ago,
Well,
35
technically
seasons,
twice. In one
20.
world, it was ran by the
Yeah,
women too.
but we don't even mention that it's always the Black Widow Brigade.
Mm-hmm.
So when that's my biggest fear about this season is that like we can't let another cookout happen. Like can we, you know it just all depends on the cast, but it's just like I don't want that to affect.
I don't want that being a perception going for any future seasons.
Exactly, and that's not. I don't.
It's not right.
It's not right, and we'll have to see. It depends on the casting, depends on the season, and everything like that. But like, people are definitely gonna look out for this future season going because they're gonna show this season. They always show the recent seasons. So, but
Yeah.
that about covers this week. It was okay week. It was only okay because of the mess Kylan was making and his crazy plans that didn't seem feasible.
Let me get another week of it. Yay.
Yeah. So we're gonna see what's going on. Sarah Beth is safe. Um, so that's leaves only 3 non-cookout members. Uh, I want to see adversity. So I'm hoping for something where we get 2 cookout members on. And I want to see big
My
players.
hopes are high.
I don't want to see Ozzy and Big D.
You want to see Xavier and Tiffany, or Xavier
Yeah.
and Hannah.
Kylan and Tiffany, Kylan and Xavier, Kylan and Hannah, something like that, where it's going to be a real debate and real battle, where it might divide the house and change the game up.
I think Xavier and Tiffany would do that.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
When is the last time, like, I'm honestly genuinely thinking this, when was the last time early in the game that 2 power players were on the block against each other? I guess 21 with Jack and Jackson.
Yeah, that was the last time. And that was what? Who did that? Cliff?
No, that was, well, Cliff tried, and then he backed out of it. And then Jessica actually kept the 2 of them on the block the entire time and got Jack out.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see. We haven't seen like you said, big power players. I mean, because even in Big Brother 22, like there are some big names put together, but like in the game,
it was Cody. It was Cody, and he never touched the block.
Never touched the block. Nobody even sniffed at him. So, but yeah, that about covers this week. Thank you for helping me out. I know.
Oh, no problem. Anytime.
Yeah, Amanda was getting ready for a vacation, and so she needed her day, which is fine. But yeah, that about cover it. We're optimistic. We're hoping.
Cautiously optimistic.
Yeah. And we're hoping that we don't get a steamroll moving forward, because then if that's the case, we got 4 boring weeks ahead of us.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to be...
If we're going to get a full kick-out Final 6, these next weeks are going to be rough. Boring.
Because especially if we get to 7, and if Derek X isn't, or Claire, not one of the 7, if we get Alyssa or Sarah Beth at 7, they're not winning Veto. It's like that whole week is
that's your week off.
Yeah, that's a week I
I,
should
I
take
want
off.
to. We need a double eviction at some point.
Oh, dude, this week should have been the double.
Yeah, I liked when they did the double right to start the jury.
Yeah, this week or next week. Like next week for sure has to be the double. Or if they wait too long, it's gonna matter nothing. Like you
Yes, look.
can't wait too long.
Yeah, look what happened last season. They tried the triple and it was so fucking boring.
It's so late. It was way too late.
You need it earlier on. Look at Big Brother 15. To me, had the two best double evictions.
Yes, of all
The
time.
first one was great because it was so early on, and that Judd blindside was insane.
Insane.
And that second one was only. It was late in the game, but it was only good because getting to watch Andy work his magic that night was.
It was like one of the greatest things you've seen from a winner.
He should have been dead that night.
He should have been dead. He should have been dead. And he was able to play it up. I can't believe Amanda doesn't like him. It just baffles my mind. She's like, he's a bad winner. I was like,
He's not a bad winner.
He's not. He's a top tier.
He's
winner.
a great winner on a horrible black eye season.
Yes. And I was like, there's like 10 people that easily aren't even touching his game. But yeah, that about covers it. Go check out Survivor Animation. They just started their All Stars, so it started tonight. So go support the page. Go if you want to play at org. Go sign up for the following season after All Stars. I have not played, but I've heard good things. I'm
getting you one day.
Yeah, my appearance fee is getting a little bit higher. You know what I'm saying? I'm waiting out, holding out. That's for, not everybody gets appearance fees. Don't calm down. Okay, just go have fun. But thank you again for watching. If you guys liked the video, please like and subscribe. We have a Facebook page for our social medias. Thank you guys. Have a nice night. Thanks. Bye.